Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. It's going to be a quick one. I just wanted to show you what I've been up to on the 100-day project. I think I've shown some of these before where I just, cut my 6x6 papers and made different tags with just stickers and a little bit of book page and some distress ink. Those are easy peasy. This tab is some faux handmade paper that I did, and I had just little strips of it left like this, so I made some tabs. And these are just a few that I've made. There's a lot because they make so many when you cut them. Another one of those little tabs, and I've just stamped a number there. But I thought these were fun. Of course, they're junk mail envelopes. And I put some distress ink, smushed some distress ink on the outsides. And this is the other piece that I cut off. Also smushed distress ink. Have some of that foil that I made a tab out of. Put a little word there, little funny cat. Those are by Lemon Creations. And I don't cover a lot of the things on an envelope because I don't mind. I think it's cool that it's made out of an envelope. And then in the back is a pocket. Not sure what size that pocket is, but these things are perfect to put in there. So I thought today I would make some of these to go in the ones I don't have filled up. And I might just show you real quick how I made these envelopes. Not like you can't probably figure it out, but sometimes when I see videos, and they should be really easy for me to figure out. Love this one. Pretending to be normal is exhausting. Love that. Sometimes they look really easy, and I ought to be able to look at them and go, oh, I know how they did that. And sometimes I do. Or sometimes seeing them gives me an idea of what to do. But sometimes the simplest things really throw me for a loop. Now, like this one, I haven't totally decorated the outside. I'm probably going to put something like a key. And again, this is cut from the coffee top lids. And an update on that. You know, I said on the bigger ones like this that have the plastic. If you can see, there's plastic in the middle there. Right there. Those, I can't. My die cut machine won't cut them. But on the smaller lids, I was really wanting to find that where I could show the... Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's the... See, this one has the little square. So I really think this one is... I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't have that tough plastic in the middle. But the texture is even different. It's smoother. It's not as spongy feeling and shiny as these. These I could cut through, and they were no problem. But these that look like aluminum foil, and they're not, that have the heavy plastic in the middle. So basically what I'm saying is just give it a try. Some of them do work. Back to what I was saying, I didn't decorate the outsides of a lot of these because, again, it's a mass make for me, and I like to have things that can be put in anything, so I don't finish them all the way like a complete mass make, but I'll probably put something like a little key. I thought that looked cute. So anyway, this one was the kind of envelope that has two windows, so I folded it over, put a number in that side, tea-dyed paper on that side for writing, and you can write all over this whole thing. And then on the inside is just little girls with the stickers and a pocket. And this is the reason I like to make all different sizes of these. This one's a little skinnier. I had to make it skinnier because of the way I had to fold it. Of course, it was a little narrower. Narrower, is that a word? But I mean, you could stick something in the back like that. When you got ready to put it in your journal, you could decorate this pocket. And again, like I said, put more stuff on the outside. I'm thinking that, and I did sew around the edge. I didn't go across the bottom because on some of them, like these, I did go across the bottom, and that's where I learned there's just not a lot of room there, so I probably won't keep doing that if the window is closer to the bottom. Just pulling out one of the signatures from my journal, and I was going to show you that I think this is how I'm going to use them. They'll just be like, I'll clip them over the page, and you can see how rough I left all of that. You can put lace there, you could, you know, fix it up, and then on the other side it's going to look like this. Or, so you could decorate the back of that as well. Or you could fold this the other way so that this would show on this side. I hope that makes sense. This one I did decorate all except the back, because you can also, maybe you want to glue these to a page, you know, and so there's nothing on the back. Here's this one. I put a little fabric, one of the keys, and I did put a little card in this one. And then these little girls, I kind of stamped it like it was, they were going on a trip. Put admit one, and I had a tag that I thought would be good for this one. Like this, that had the tickets and everything on it. There's writing, of course, on the other side. These were one-sided 6x6 papers, but something like that you could put in the back. And I don't know, I thought those were really cute. Like I say, there's not much to them, so I don't really have to show you how to make it. I'm sure you can figure it out, but I thought I'm going to make some anyway. I might as well show you how I do the envelopes and cut some of these. And you can, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to measure anything. You can cut them whatever size you want. So I took some, I wanted some blue for some of those. And I picked these two because I wanted to show that this is pretty paper. I don't usually make things with this kind of paper. So I thought I'd show how you could grunge it up and make it fit into any kind of journal. I called these my colorful grunge. I don't know if that's a thing, but I think they're pretty, and I think they add some color, but still have that grungy look too. That peacock was one of my favorites. I love the little bird. Oh, and these trees. I guess I like them all, don't I? Alright. So I guess we can just start with these. And these are supposed to be 6x6, but I don't think they're really spot on. So I just cut them whatever size. As you can see, my paper cutter got dropped to the floor one too many times, and it's busted. So I'm just going to make a tall one, and then I think I'm going to make some small ones too. This one I made 3 inches, so it's 3x6. These I think I'll make 2 inches, another 2, and then whatever size that is left. So 4 tags I'll make out of that one. I have a thing about square edges, so I go ahead and round those. On the smaller ones, I choose the smaller little corner cutter so that it doesn't take much off my card. I kind of think they go in pockets easier when they're rounded. My favorite color to grunge with is this VersaFine Vintage Sepia. I like it. Looks like it seems like you can make anything grungy with it. I also like to use black sometimes. So as you can see, I go pretty heavy on my distress ink to give it a grungy. And then another thing you could do, since these have kind of white background, is just take one of these brushes and lightly go over just to bring it down a little bit where it's not so in your face. You probably can't tell it on camera, but it does make a difference. Alright, so we got those kind of grungy. I think some of them I'm just going to stamp. Have some of these little round stamps. See what that looks like. Wasn't planning on doing it on all of them, but I liked it, so I am going to. So I'm just going to pull out some stickers here and lay down, because I don't want a lot. I'm just to decorate a little bit, so something like that. Even though there's not much there, that's probably how that one's going to look, and then maybe I'll stamp a word or something, maybe put a number on it. I got some little stickers here. And I guess as I add the stickers, you don't even have to have them up the right way because it kind of hides all of that. So, and I pulled out some purple flowers, but I was worried that might be a little too much purple. It isn't like I have to have purple journal to put these in. I also have these little tiny pieces of paper here, so I'm going to put one under this one, just like that. Grunge it up. I'm going to put my sticker over it. Another thing I like to do is use some of this H tape or, stress tape and make it look like it's running across the flower. Just tore me a piece off, but I'm going to use it maybe on more than one, so just cut off a little tiny sliver. And I do use glue stick to just make sure it's going to stick good. And then I just lay it across the bottom of the stem somewhere. And I think that makes a pretty tag. Easy, doesn't take much time, and they look really pretty. And I mean, you have to keep in mind that when it's time to actually put it in a journal, you can always add to it. Let's put the other half of this paper on this one. I think I'll go ahead and still use another sticker. I like these stickers. And I'm kind of in the trying to use them up. I have so many. So it's a good way to get rid of, if you're like me and seem to collect way too many stickers. And I'm going to get another little piece of this tape. And that one's done. Okay, so let's do this one. I mean, you could always put one of these keys on there too. A little die cut. But like I said, I'm into using up my flowers here, so here's another little, this came off a digital. I think I'll use it. These stickers are hard to get off, but I've noticed that if you can find which is the front and pull from the front, it works the best. I saw someone say that on a comment, and they were correct. Definitely. I thought, well, that sounds silly. Why wouldn't? But I guess sometimes I have to be told everything. Isn't that cute? Let's finish off our big one here. I think I want to put a stamp or like a ticket on this one. Like, you're stopping to eat, you're traveling. Not like they would need a ticket for a car, but I don't know. I don't think this card makes much sense because more than likely if you're still riding in a horse and wagon, you're not going to be having a drive-in. I don't know. Okay, so there's that one. Put some little stamps on here. And there's those four just like that. Aren't they pretty? And you have them ready for whenever you get ready to need a spot at the end for a little something, something. You got all of these. So I'm not going to bore you with having me make these other two, but I'll show them to you at the end. And then I wanted to show you how to do, I guess I don't have to show you how to do it, but I'll show you how I did these envelopes. I like the bigger window So I'm using that one this time. And I just trim off just a tiny bit of each end to open it up. And again, you can make these whatever size you want. That's the beauty of it. None of this has to be precise or measured. Doesn't even have to be straight, which I guess is right up my alley. And I found that pretty much 6 inches is the best length to keep. That way the piece that we cut off will make a perfect pocket to fit on the inside, and we just have to tear a tiny bit probably at the top to make it work. And then you just decide how much flap you want and fold, you know, however much flap you want, like that. And then I took a ruler and kind of helped me fold this lip up. And then I notice on this one, there's this double inside and makes it kind of thick, so you can either pull it off or leave it. I like to leave it because I liked all the different edges. Now on some of these I got kind of lucky, and the way it was torn when I opened it, it kind of looks like a finger hole. So that was kind of cool, and you can do that here. You can tear a rough edge and make you like a finger hole. Now on the pocket, I like to tear this part off because I like the angle look better. But you can leave it, obviously. Do whatever you want. I don't know why I say that. But anyway, so then I just fold it up however high I want my pocket. I think I'm going to go to here this time. And then sometimes, depending, you know, of course, how big a pocket I made, I may have to tear off a little bit of the top after I do the sewing. I think I'm going to use some distress inks on this. I think this time I'm going to go with Salty Ocean and Black Marble. This one's actually a shimmer spray. So I didn't even use any water on most of them. I just sprayed some on this plate that I think actually is for like a Cuttlebug or, you know, one of the die cut machines. But I didn't need it. It was too small. So now I use it for this. So I just squirt a little bit on and do some smooshing. I don't even care if I get it in the window. On some of them, I left it in the window because I liked that extra color. I hope it dries. It probably won't. Never had very good luck with getting ink to dry on that acetate. And also on the pocket side, I did put some on the inside as well because that will be showing. Took a wet wipe to get the color off. I keep these too. They're really cool to use on tabs and stuff. And that should be good enough. And I do notice, of course, you know, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but on the distress ink, it dries fairly quickly as long as I don't add any water to it. Sometimes I did if I had a lot of color left, but that's how I did the smooshing. Not very, very hard, was it? And then I inked around everything. And I think this one I'm going to ink around in black. If you want to be really fancy, before you could put something on this too, so that when this gets taken out, you still have a picture behind. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one. I didn't sew a lot of these. Most of them I just glued the edge. If you get a little crooked like I did, you can always trim it off or leave it if you like that and ink it more. And then on this one, I think I'm going to use one of the little grungy cat skin. I think I'll use one of these with the... No, I'm going to use it. I was going to use one of the blue and the blacks, but I want to use one with a little bit more color. So I'm going to use this fella probably. And it does kind of blend in because she's got these streaks. and splatter on the background. But what I do to make it blend even more, I just put a little bit of that distress ink on my brush. I have some left over from earlier, and go around the edge. Just, this is a hard bristle, so I just dab like this to make it fit in. And I'm going to do it with a little bit of the black, this black too. Or you could do this with the black distress ink. I'm just using this because it was handy. Then I'm going to use some of these snarky words. I have some that I splatter painted way too much. Maybe I'll see if any of those can be salvaged right now. Alright, so that's what it will look like. Isn't that cool? Or like I said, you could fold this the other way to make it hang over a page and this would be shown. But I'll sew around these. I'll make some neat cards to put in the back, like the grunged up look. So as I said, I finished the other two colors of the 6x6 off camera. I just did stamping on these and used a couple of those digitals. This one says one of a kind. This is just stampings. Again, doesn't that look cool? And it's nothing but stamping. That's all I did was stamp on it. Same with this one. And again, these things you can doctor them up some more as you put them in a journal. But for now, I think they're the perfect little quick, easy writing spot. This one says blah, blah, blah. More stamping, more stamping. And I did go ahead and sew around this one. But I think any of these would be perfect for the back of this as a little grungy, you know, pocket. I love that. I think that looks great. I wanted to add one more thing before I forget. I was, you know, last video I was working on this journal. I decided to make another signature cover like this. And I can't remember how I did this horrible stitching, which I say horrible, but the more I see it, the more I like it. And I do know that I can make this even by drawing lines and following that, but I don't want to. I'm going to make my next one just as bad as this one. And I looked up this stitch online because I couldn't remember how to do it. And you know what? I can't see anything online even looks close to that. I think it might be a herringbone stitch, but I don't really know. So I guess the next signature, I'm just going to pick a different stitch, and all the signatures will have different hand stitches. And I think that's a cool idea too. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got some inspiration from it. If you're like the grungy but the colorful too, maybe this will give you some inspiration, I hope. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. See, even these are pretty. I like the little girls, and I know that they're not really grungy, but I like them. I think they're not really vintage either. They're kind of a, I don't know what else to call them short of a colorful grunge. And I love using up these envelopes. And I like that they don't have to be tea-dyed. I love the tea-dyed envelopes, but when I do, of course, all of this kind of falls apart. This way, I think you can kind of maintain the structure of the envelope without having to glue everything back. I think this is a nice option to that. Nice alternative. If you do some of these, or you have another way that you do your envelopes, you know, there's so many ways, infinite amount of ways to do envelopes, and I love them. I love being able to do something with them. I have so many to use where they look the same, but not really. Does that make sense? All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you were inspired to make some things today, and I will see you next time. Thanks again. Bye.